The student loan forgiveness announced by President Joe Biden before the midterm elections is still stuck in limbo and stuck with the Supreme Court. Now with that, the president has a new student loan payment plan that he's introduced to student borrowers. Wait, does that mean that his original plan is being scrapped now? One lawmaker repeatedly talked to Twitter to defend President Biden is now saying that he may have jeopardized national security with secret documents. Any guesses as to who this guy is? And after Twitter has brought back former President Donald Trump to the platform, Facebook is also now considering bringing him back. They said back in 2021 that they would talk about the former president ban status after 2 years. It's now 2023 and the 2-year anniversary of his suspension has passed. Do you guys think that this would be great timing for his 2024 run? Now, before I continue, please take a second, drop a like for the video. That always helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're in need of your daily dose of the truth when it comes to the US economy, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, what's going on in Washington, D.C., the stock market, the housing market, and everything that affects our families and our bank accounts, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. The link is in the description down below. All right, guys, Democratic Representative Adam Schiff has long been a supporter of President Biden, and it's evident in one of the Twitter Files episodes as the congressman got in contact with the social media platform to censor anyone and everyone who ridiculed the president. The thread even called it an important use of taxpayer resources, as Schiff asked about a Peter Douche parody photo of the president. The Democratic National Committee also made the same request. I guess the problem started when former President Donald Trump retweeted the photo. Twitter did not budge with the former Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth, saying that the photo had obvious humorous intent and that any reasonable observer could see that it was doctored. I guess Schiff's team thought that this was a real photo. I'm actually envisioning either Schiff or one of his staffers kind of going through the posts on social media and flagging whatever post they might think is critical of the president. That or a silly gif with his tongue out. That should make us taxpayers proud. All of this money being used not to create opportunities for Americans, but to look for these kinds of content online. I really wonder how many hours that they spent per day on this. Of course, paid for by the taxpayers. One of Schiff's staffers argued that this was a slippery slope concern, and that even though this concern doesn't fall under Twitter's policy, it's something that demands further explanation since they're predicting that the next posts could be more malicious and less obvious. Schiff and his staff also made multiple requests to the social media platform to suppress and to ban accounts, which is why I find it very surprising to see that Congressman Schiff is calling out President Biden for his handling of top secret documents and wants the same treatment that Trump got to be given to him as well.
I don't think we can exclude the possibility without knowing more of the facts. We have asked for an assessment in the intelligence community of the Mar-a-Lago documents. I think we ought to get that same assessment of the documents found in the think tank as well as the home of President Biden. I'd like to know what these documents were. I'd like to know what the IC's assessment is, whether there was any risk of exposure and what the harm would be and whether any mitigation needs to be done. I think that would be appropriate and consistent with what we requested in the case of Mar-a-Lago.
He did add that he thought that the two situations were different and that President Biden didn't mean to take these secret documents to his office, garage, and his home. But what do you guys think? Y'all buying that? Now, on the same note, should the National Archive just put air tags on these documents? I'm wondering. Now, this reminds me, the recent problem with the FAA or the Federal Aviation Administration has Senator Rick Scott heated. He's more like pissed. That's probably more like it. He tweeted this about the issue. Quote, "Safety is always the top priority, but leaving millions of travelers stranded and delayed to their destinations is not okay. I expect at FAA News and at Secretary Pete to immediately provide a full briefing to Congress on what happened and how they will ensure it never happens again." End quote. Were you guys affected by the computer problem with the FAA? Now, here's something that affects a lot of people, and I'm talking about students here. The Biden administration has released a new plan to overhaul the current income-driven repayment plan known as Revised Pay As You Earn Plan or REPAY. So this new proposal would allow borrowers to earn less than $30,600 annually to pause payments, reduce payments on undergraduate loans to 5% of discretionary income. It would also consider the original loan balance to determine forgiveness eligibility, meaning that those who borrowed $12,000 or less would be eligible for loan forgiveness after 10 years of monthly payments. It also aims to not shock borrowers with interest if they've only been able to make small monthly payments. Corey Turner of NPR clarified the proposal in a recent interview.
Who is eligible, and generally speaking, how much would someone's payment decrease under this new plan?
Well, I think the largest decrease would be for undergraduate borrowers. There's a real preference in here for undergraduate borrowers. It would basically, according to the Ed Department, cut their monthly loan payments in half. And that's basically because of a new way, a lower threshold for calculating discretionary income. The old rule would apply for graduate school borrowers. The plan would be open to, I believe, the vast majority of new and even current borrowers. There's one pretty large exception, and that is family members, caregivers who have what are called Parent Plus loans.
Do you guys think that this would be better than the loan forgiveness? Turner also confirmed that an update on that may come around May or June of this year. Now, speaking of an update, Facebook's parent company Meta is now considering bringing back former President Donald Trump to the platform. Now, if his accounts are restored, it would have a huge advantage for his 2024 election campaign, given that he does have about 34 million followers on Facebook, 23 million on Instagram. Two Democratic lawmakers were adamant that Trump be kept off the platform, one of them being Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, and well, the other, you guessed it, Congressman Adam Schiff. According to Schiff, quote, "For Meta to credibly maintain a legitimate election integrity policy, it is essential that your company maintain its platform ban on former President Trump," end quote. Now, in what could be more good news for the former president, U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is looking to expunge one or even both of Trump's impeachments. Do you guys see this happening? And not straying too far from the story, new House Oversight and Accountability Committee Chairman James Comer called George Santos a bad guy, but said that the decision to quit should be his own. He also added this, quote, "He's not the first politician, unfortunately, to make it to Congress to lie. You know, Elizabeth Warren wasn't truthful about her ethnicity, and I could go on and on. But look, George Santos was duly elected by the people. I think that Santos is being examined thoroughly. It is his decision whether or not he should resign. It's not my decision, but certainly I don't approve of how he made his way to Congress," end quote. Comer also says that Santos should be removed from Congress if he indeed broke campaign finance laws. Don't you guys love how self-aware they are that there are liars among them? You know what isn't a lie? How tough it is to afford basic necessities these days. I know people who have maxed out their Visa, MasterCard, and American Express credit cards, who have been under tremendous stress because of layoffs, and since most of them can't even apply for SNAP benefits, they continue to scrimp and save just to be able to afford proper nutrition. But this shouldn't be the case for everyone. There's always a chance that we can turn the tide on this economy. But how? Better cash flow. We can utilize multiple streams of income through small businesses or side hustles to get back to a semblance of normal. We can invest in the stock market or even real estate to make money while we sleep. Or just like any responsible worker, we can look back at our budget and realize where the holes are, where we're wasting money, so that we can better manage our wages. Now, if you want to learn more about all of these, don't hesitate to join us over in the Patreon community. There's a link in the description down below. Now, before I go, don't forget to drop a thumbs up for the video, subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.